Hey everyone, a couple of technical difficulties. We're now finally here and ready to roll. Just want to say thanks. We're going to do a little live streaming tonight. Welcome to the studio. Here with the shipping department, just hanging out doing a little painting again. We kind of like this. We did this last night. We've done it a couple times this week. It's been a lot of fun. So we figured we just I'm painting anyways. So we would just fire up the cams and let you guys take a sneak peek tonight and hang out with us for about an hour or so. Again, we'll be painting for about an hour. Any questions you guys have about the art, feel free to fire them through. Be here, and we're also streaming over on YouTube if that's an easier platform for you to watch. But we're thrilled you guys are here and hanging out on Facebook and YouTube. So sit back and enjoy. Grab your beverage of choice. Apologize for the snoring in advance. The shipping department is well into it already. So hope you guys enjoy. They're really thrilled already, you can tell. So sit back, any questions, fire them through, and thanks for being here.
Craig says, hey, what's up?
What's going on, Craig? Thanks for hanging out, man. Past bedtime over there, East Coast style. Oh, just kind of, so this is the third day of working on this piece. We've streamed the last 2 days. You can see those, again, YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are. The streams are there. You can check them out. So basically, we kind of worked on the skull on the right on the first stream. This was last night, working the butterfly and the mushroom and the skull. I'm going to work on the monarch over here and the flowers, and then I'll detail out this this monarch with all this white detail, and that'll be it for tonight probably. So we'll get rolling, and any questions you have, feel free, and thanks for hanging out again.
Thomas Badger says, just wanted to say I love your work and thanks for taking the time to share it.
Hey, Thomas Badger, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the work too. Appreciate it. Glad you could hang out. Yeah, this is fun. I cut my teeth doing live demos and painting in front of people, and now that that's all gone, it's fun to kind of recapture some of that magic again. Granted, nobody's eating kettle corn behind me as I'm working, so it's a little easier to concentrate. But it's fun to be able to share the work.
Robin says, love this.
Thank you, Robin. Appreciate it. Yeah, this piece kind of came about. I did a small piece for the Halloween release. It was a little monarch on a skull, and it was just cute and kind of got the juices flowing. And I wanted to do something bigger, a little more of a nature scene, some other elements that I wanted to include. So it was kind of fun to take it to take that idea and kind of expand on it. And there'll be canvas and paper prints of this. This original is already sold, but there'll be canvas and paper prints of this available probably in about 3 weeks. Maybe even t-shirts and mini prints too, all that stuff. So you'll see all that released here. If you follow me on social media, you'll see when that gets released.
Arlene Berry says, where's the shipping department? Asking you shall receive.
Arlene, we installed the puppy cam just for such questions.
They are never this well behaved.
No, and I'm afraid that we're going to just creating monsters because they're really getting used to this whole streaming thing, and they know they get treats before it starts. So it's only momentarily before they have their own channel. Just detailing out all these little flowers. This will be a delicate compared to yesterday when, a little stronger lines, some dark shadows, values. This is going to be more of the delicate touch detail kind of at night. Lots of little petals, little flowers. But no less fun. Like, this is my favorite part, rendering all the details out, carving them out of space. All these little flower pods. This is I love to do. This is the fun part. You kind of just make all the decisions. So if you're new to seeing the painting in progress, this is the enamel. This is the last stage where I carve out all the detail. The stages before, the background is acrylic, and that's what the color is back here, all this background. All the color you see there, that you still see here without any enamel on it, is gouache. It's like an opaque watercolor. and that's where I put in all my shadows and values and colors, and basically build the composition and the highlights and such. And then I come in with my enamel and basically render out all the details. Some of the deeper shadows, some of all the textures, and it's kind of where all the magic kind of happens. It all kind of comes together and gets crafted out of this. Like I said, my favorite part. Shipping department's making weird noises over there.
A little puppy dreams.
Oh.
Feed's a little shaky.
What is?
The feed is a little shaky.
Is it?
Yeah, must be a lot of people on tonight.
Yeah, apologize if the feed's shaky, guys. We're seeing a lot of traffic on the old Facebooks here, so we'll try and sort it out. We'll just outlast them.
Chris Castillo says sick work.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out on the stream.
Ben says yo.
Ben is always here. Thanks, Ben. Ben has watched this whole piece from the sketch.
Looks like Gavin's on.
Excellent. Thank you, Gavin, for hanging out.
And Bjork, hi again. How you doing?
Bjork, too, man. They're competing for always here. Bjork's in my house.
Thank God.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Becky Olson, hi David, your favorite family of stalkers.
Becky Olson and Stalker family. Appreciate you guys stopping in. You have to do cyber stalking now, so I appreciate you. Pandemic isn't going to stop a stalker.
Yeah, Facebook's pretty raggedy.
So if you get annoyed with the raggedy Facebook, feel free to hop over to my YouTube channel. It seems to be much clearer over there. If you want to make the jump. And if you're going over there, then like and subscribe and do the things that YouTubers tell you to do. But we'll try and get the Facebook to cooperate here. It's our first time streaming on a Friday night, so we just started doing this a few weeks ago, so we're still kind of finding out what works best for our timeline and for people and everything. What is a good time to do these? So we'll try tonight, and tonight feels like everyone in the world is streaming old episodes of Game of Thrones or something. Then we'll figure out some other time.
Becky says she's gonna miss you at the Wonderground this year.
Becky, I'm really bummed too about the Wonderground. Yeah, the fact that it's gone now is it's a bummer. I loved being there and artist in residence at Disney every year for the last 8 years. I enjoyed my time there painting and talking to animation students. It's really a bummer. I really will miss that for sure, and I hope that maybe in some other way or some other version of it comes back again in the future, because I did really enjoy my time there, and I'm sure something with Disney will come back again. They're really great to us, and we're on great terms with them, and I'm talking to them throughout this process, of Underground. So hopefully something will happen again, and we'll do some more Disney stuff with them. If you don't know, I did some licensed Disney art for them. I did some Star Wars pieces, and I did a Jungle Cruise piece. I don't have those available on my site because they're Disney licensed, so Disney carries them. But you can probably see them on eBay or something like that if you see them around. But so yeah, that was a couple years ago. Got to do that. Excellent time, really fun to work with. So, and we actually had, before this whole pandemic, we were actually beginning preliminary discussions of a new piece for them. They came to us and wanted to do. So we'll hopefully, once things settle down, we'll figure out how it all happens again.
Matt Holmes says, love your work. And do you decide how many hours you're going to put into each project, or do you just go with the flow and whatever happens, happens?
Thanks, Matt. Welcome to the stream. Great question. So I don't decide how many hours. It is what it is. However many hours is what it takes is what it takes. I know kind of what's going to take a long time, but I would never want to limit it because sometimes I want to needle at things. Again, like these skulls, this is actually, believe it or not, restrained detail. I mean, I could do a ton more and just lose my mind. In that way, I kind of have to make myself stop on certain aspects, but I let things tell me what it needs to be. It's kind of a weird and artsy-fartsy way of explaining that, but I want it to look good. I want it to be properly weighted with the rest of the piece. Being that I use line work strongly, it's pretty easy to know when I need more, when I need less. So a piece is what it is. This kind of coverage here, I kind of call full enamel, where there's enamel across the entire area. Paintings that have that type of thing throughout the painting are obviously take longer. There's some spots in here that won't be painted in the background. That things go a little faster because I'm not painting every square inch. So I don't even think about that anymore. I don't even worry about it. It kind of is what it is, and I kind of let it just. I don't want it to change the painting because I don't want to paint that long, or I'm trying to keep it under a certain thing. So I just let it do its thing and tell me what it wants to be, as Bob would say.
Erin says it's beautiful. She loves all the details.
Hey, Erin, thank you. Appreciate it. The detail. This is what I love. Just sitting here and noodling on this and doing all the little details and little marks and little dots and dashes. This is my favorite thing, also.
Jennifer Zange says she's so excited.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, for checking out the stream and checking out your piece. Jennifer and Byron are great collectors of the work. They have. I'll post a video once they get settled in their new place. They have so many pieces of work. When I'm dead, my job is basically to make sure their retirement's taken care of. They have so many pieces, have been amazing supporters of the work. I mean, they have, I want to say from the very beginning, I remember I met Byron, on his beach cruiser at an art festival 10 or 11 years ago. More than that, I think, at this point. And they've been just tremendous supporters of the work ever since. And it's just amazing as an artist to find supporters like that support the work for that long. It's just amazing, and it's humbling. Who would have thought that shirts off or tank top wearing beach cruiser guy would stick around?
Rachel says you're a favorite artist of her and her husband's.
Hey, Rachel, thank you first for joining the stream. Second, for lavishing me with compliments. I appreciate it, though. I love when couples can come together on the work. It's not many things in life people can agree on. So it's really cool to have them share the art like that.
Holly's online, says hello from New Hampshire.
Hello, Holly, in New Hampshire. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, New Hampshire's in the house. A couple of Hampshires in the house right now. Craig was too. Those that don't know, I grew up in New Hampshire. I've been in California now for 15 years. So people have stopped yelling at me to go back where I come from, so officially crossed the line, I think. Now I yell it, I guess.
Leon's online. Hey, you two, it's been way too long. Thought I'd stop in and say hi.
Old school. Everybody's coming out. Leon, thanks, man. Arizona's popping in. This is what it was last night, too. It's great to see so many people we haven't talked to. Again, being off the road and in my little cave, it's just fun to, one, remember that the outside world exists, but just to see everybody again. We kind of missed that. It's our on-the-road family. We're just kind of gypsies for 10 years of doing shows and festivals and meeting artists and people and going all over the world to 13 different countries with the art. I mean, traveling was a part of our life, and be home now in the jammies. It's just an adjustment period. But now y'all come to me. I should have done this to begin with.
Yeah, what were we doing all that?
Yeah, why did I travel to traffic? I should just come to this.
It looks smooth on YouTube, just choppy on this one.
So again, if you're getting a choppy feed on the old Facebooks, feel free to hop over to YouTube, because apparently it's looking much better there. So that's how it always is, though.
Maybe Ben will tell us.
Yeah.
Leon says he misses us in the random conversation.
Indeed. This will be my first year without Arizona dust boogers.
Sid is asking any updates on upcoming shows with all these COVID restrictions.
So Sid's asking about any kind of updates for shows with these kind of restrictions. The update is they're all canceled. There are no shows. There are still some here or there that we used to do that are still going on. We've actually officially retired from shows, so we won't be doing any more shows. Right now, the only thing on my schedule that's currently booked is San Diego Comic-Con. That's still on my schedule for 2021. I don't believe it's going to take place. I think they're going to postpone. I think we'll hear any day now, because usually we have to confirm all of our hotels and all that. All the stuff happens in December, and it's been just radio silence. I would not expect that to take place yet. But again, SEMA, all the shows that I normally do, demo appearances that I do, I will still be doing demos and appearances and stuff like that. So, but those are all canceled also. So really, right now with the restrictions, the problem is that no shows want to take the chance, because insurance companies aren't going to cover them. So they're kind of hesitant in not doing some shows. And again, right now, being in a booth with thousands of people coming through is not really where I want to be. So we're just going to kind of, do what we do. And we've loved doing the shows. It was a real hard decision, but for us, it was just kind of time. We've been on the road doing shows for, again, like I said earlier, almost 12 years. So it's always our goal to not be on the road as much. So it's kind of enjoyed this. It's almost been a blessing. Not that a quarantine pandemic and loss of life is a blessing, but it's changed what we do and how we do it, and it's been a refreshing change. I think we just got used to traveling so much. You just kind of get locked in a mode. So as of right now, I have nothing booked but San Diego Comic-Con in 2021, and I would imagine maybe SEMA too. If it's going on, I think, because my Sun X boxes are set to be released. So, but again, that's all up in the air too. So, short story: no appearances, no shows, nothing.
Ben wants confirmation you're a lefty, because he says it sucks to write.
Yes, Ben, I am a lefty. He wants confirmation it sucks to be a lefty. I'm not going to tell you if I have pants on or not. It's part of the live stream wonder. Who even knows? That's the benefit of painting from home, right? And the stream goes down. We've been flagged. Definitely a big change in our life to not be, demoing and doing shows and doing that kind of stuff when it was such a part of the art for so long. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with this, because this is kind of what it is now.
Alex Dardinsky says he ran into Brian Buchanan on your old bike at Fort Rock 2 weekends back.
This is like old school night. One, I want pictures of my old bike. That's awesome, man. Thanks for joining the stream. Man, old school. One, Brian's still alive too. Alex is
He
too.
says, another news, we grew caterpillars and the monarchs inside with our 2 boys every summer. So he's loving those.
So that's awesome too. Well, thanks you, man. Hope everything's going great. Kids and stuff. Man. I got old.
Oh, yeah. Jenny Kappa says it's beautiful.
What's the name?
Jenny?
Jenny. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate it. This is the fun part. It's all coming together now. Those are always risky, antenna lines, because once it's done, it's done. There's no fixing those. Well, I love everybody catching up, man. This is pretty cool. We actually increased the planting, excuse me, on our property also to try and increase the monarch population. We have bird feeders, we have hummingbird feeders, we have an owl box, which gets nested in every year and it's amazing. We do as much as we can to try and keep the property actively contributing to nature. So it's always, and that's how a lot of these insects and animals and such get involved in the paintings is, you know, I have them on the property. They're in my face. They're outside the studio. You know, finches have worked their way in because there's 50 on the bird feeder every day. And right before we went live, there's a toad that lives outside the window of the studio who was the reason that there's a toad / frog in this piece here.
Alex says that bike looks perfect because he obviously never rides it. Bridget Olson says, hi David, missed you this year.
Hey Bridget, great to hear from you. We got more people from our travels.
Becky Olson is asking if this is a commission piece.
So this is not, Becky Olson's asking if this is a commission piece. This is not a commission piece. This kind of started, this came from me doing a small piece for the Halloween release, and it was a tiny piece in a metal frame, and with a little monarch on a skull. And I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to do more. I've done monarchs before, and it just kind of got me thinking about how I wanted a little more nature encompassing piece, and kind of got started, and just bam, this is where it came out. So this isn't a commission. This piece is already sold, but I will be releasing prints in canvas and paper. Probably about 3 weeks once I get into photographer. It's a little slower now, obviously, with all this stuff going on. But hopefully we'll get in there soon and have all the prints and mini prints and maybe even shirts too. Someone mentioned that in the stream last night, so we'll look into that option also.
Matt Holmes says he loves the Western series. Will there be more?
Matt Holmes, more coming. I have some really kind of epic one idea in my head I want to do that kind of captures the fun. I have a cool train robbery scene that I want to do that kind of sketched out too. So I have a bunch of different ideas, but yes, for sure, there's more coming. Yeah, it's been a while since I did the Death Do Us Part couple, the gun couple, chained together. That's probably the last one I've done in a while. So yeah, it's about time.
Andres loves your style, big fan, and thinks this is a beautiful piece.
Andres, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a fun piece. I've been doing so many small, kind of the cute style ones. It's fun to do some, we call them the anatomical skeletons, just, a little more serious stuff. It's fun to dive in. Just been a lot of cute stuff, so I just, sometimes just need a little, a little more aggressive, a little more, detail, things I can go off a little more, a little bigger too. The last ones I've done have all been small, so it's fun to dive into a multi-day paint. When I do demos, usually it's a 3-day weekend show, so I tend to do bigger pieces, and that's being home. That's what's kind of I haven't done as much of, so it's fun to capture that now with a big piece.
Craig says Mike McCarthy's son is on Justin's basketball team, and he says hi, and he remembers you from the circles and the NYA, of course. Whatever any of that is.
Man.
It's all in code.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate
New Hampshire code.
New Hampshire code. That is old school, man. This is old school New Hampshire day here. Appreciate it, Craig and Mike. Kids with families and on each other's football teams and basketball teams and stuff. How old am I? Look at these people have kids also. Better screening process.
Richard Wallace says this looks really good, and Becky and Bridget are discussing purchases.
Well, thank you, Becky and Bridget. Thank you. Was it Wallace? Was it
And Richard Wallace.
Richard Wallace. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining the stream, hanging out.
Bridget says, what is this music?
That's hand-curated music, Bridget.
And Ben says you should invest in Spooky Downs.
Choosing music that Facebook will allow is very limited of what you can play and what you can show. So you have to find music that is licensed to be played on Facebook and or YouTube. And I like the weird gypsy, folk gypsy. I don't even call half the stuff. But I think it fits the art. That's it. Break out the turntables for the next live stream. You think you hate it now?
She thinks that the music sounds like it's music for Don't Starve, which is a video game.
What was the name again?
Don't Starve?
Oh.
A video game? But Bridget likes it. So it's very you.
See? And I won't starve. We need some grass that isn't green.
Aaron Geyer says this is amazing. It's the opposite of my talent. I've always been a pretty good finger painter, though. Learning this craft in kindergarten.
Well, Aaron, I'd like to see your live stream, please, with the finger painting. Let's get it fired up.
question from Gwendolyn. Do you have a favorite kind of music you like to listen to when you paint?
The favorite kind of music I like to listen to when I paint. I do. I listen to all kinds of stuff when I'm painting. It's hard to pick one in particular. I think I tend to watch crappy old 80s movies more than I do listen to music. I will be playing, most commonly I watch Alien and Aliens, like I swear to God, twice a month. We do Big Trouble in Little China. What else is in the list? But those tend to be The Thing. So I tend to play those movies much more than music. I think because I know them so well, I don't need to look up and see what's going on. I know, and that's kind of how my brain can kind of focus on this, but still feel that. I don't like silence, that's for sure. Good questions tonight.
Andres says, I love when you paint those backgrounds. They're cool and it gives it a 3D effect.
Thank you, Andreas. Yeah, the background, and again, the backgrounds kind of came around as doing this enamel, which is, I mean, on or off. It's completely strong. There's no fades. I wanted to do atmospheric type backgrounds, and the technique I've really evolved over the years. But I like atmospheric, multiple color layers, kind of a gritty feeling, mystical, like a little, almost a misty, sparkly, those kind of things. I want that feel like that aged metal sometimes, or the worn leather look, just to have texture to it. I think that texture really balances and kind of lets the enamel breathe without being overly rendered and making the piece too heavy with that work.
Smiley Contreras from Mexico.
Smiley?
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out from Mexico. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us here. This is way easier than driving to Mexico and doing shows.
Mm-hmm.
We can just...
Well, Becky Olson even said that we're sharing your art with friends right now, socially distanced outside in Northern California.
Oh, excellent. Spamming her friends while social distancing. I appreciate it, Becky. You can just imagine, hey guys, look at this. No, I don't care what you're doing. Look at this.
Well, Aaron is saying the original The Thing is outstanding. Have you seen it? Oh, if he only knew.
Oh, I was talking about the original The Thing. I have not even seen the remake. How dare you, blasphemous. Have I seen it? Oh, and obviously, Escape from New York is also in that list. And even Escape from LA, because it just makes me laugh. So... And just to tell you how much I know that The Thing, the original, my dog's last name is McCready. This is like the Airwolf discussion last night. Just shows how old I am. I was like, what are these things? Everyone's Googling this stuff going, what? What is old man Winters talking about?
Wish I knew.
Let's jump into these flowers here.
Hard to have a movie discussion when there's such a lag.
Mm-hmm.
But Aaron says the remake of The Thing isn't nearly as good. But you guys like the same style of movies. I think we should probably watch the remake.
All right, Aaron. I'm going to watch the remake so I can have an educated opinion about how terrible it's going to be. National Lampoon's Vacation also frequently plays in the studio.
Get ready for for some pain. Ben said, sorry, can you repeat what you said because I can't find it on Google Translate. You're so old.
Oh, Ben.
Oh, Ben's killing you.
Underpants older than Ben. I knew after yesterday's Airwolf discussion that Ben was not going to know any of these. If you just joined us, you're going to watch me do little itty flowers for the next 45 minutes.
We just freed up bandwidth because everyone dropped off.
Yeah, exactly. And we're out of here. No joke, these are going to be a lot of little flowers, so I apologize in advance. Good thing is as we move down the flowers, get a little darker, a little thicker, it's a little easier to pack in some color and give them some weight. We still have some guidelines there with that, just so I know who's where. Easy to get lost when you're overlapping these kind of things.
Claudia says, hello from San Antonio, Texas. I'm also sitting in my studio right now watching you paint while I'm cutting glass.
Oh, Claudia, joining me while cutting glass. Don't hurt yourself, please. Appreciate you hanging out with me. And that's how I like to watch streams too, is while I'm working, you know, kind of just other ideas, creativity. I love to watch other artists work. I love to follow other people's. My YouTube is full of other artists I follow, other streams. That's how I get inspired. It's not even the kind of slow down, sucker. It doesn't even have to be the kind of work that I do. I just love watching artists do what they do. I mean, I follow watercolor channels. I follow photographers and videographers. And I gotta say, the stream has been a lot of fun so far, getting it up and running, and you know we've done it in the past, but to actually get the dog cam and you know to actually dedicate time and material to get it so it looks good. I know you Facebook is killing me right now by not making it look good, but just to have all the details, you can see what's going on. I'm really excited about in the future what we'll be doing with the stream. So thank you guys for hanging out, coming along. I'll be doing this more often, and we're trying to once a week. I'm painting anyways, so I just want to share that and open the studio up. This is basically this live stream setup is my work desk, so it's pretty easy just to fire the cams on and kind of share what we're doing. So you'll be tired of me, I promise. Dogs are. Let's go to the dog cam. That's a segue. Look how much they care. Racked in thought.
This good.
No, I'm telling you, they're just trying to get their own channel. I will not be fooled. Again. So I'm just putting all the detail here on these little flowers. I'm trying to give it some dimensionality. It's a really tough flower to paint, and I was contemplating changing when I started, and I decided to tackle the challenge. When you have a repeated little pattern of these tiny little flowers, it can just, I mean, even in the picture, it was my reference photos, it's very flat almost, where it's almost the same kind of color, so I have to kind of work in some values and some tones of the shadow underneath a little bit, just to kind of carve out the shape of these little individual flowers to show. But they're, butterfly flowers. It's one of the ones you plant. The name escapes me right now, but it's what the butterflies would be on. It's what they'd be eating, so it has to be milkweed, I believe, is actually what it is. That is, one of the two. But either way, it's the flower that has to be in there. So it's one of those challenges. And I know the challenge when I start doing the sketch, what's going to be, not an issue, but where the challenge is for this piece. I hadn't done it before. I haven't done this little flower patterny kind of stuff, so we're just figuring out as we go along. But I like what's going on. I like the texture it has. It's a good differentiation from everything else going on in the piece. Everything else is kind of longer, bold lines. This is fun little squiggles. But great questions tonight again. Appreciate you guys hanging out and asking great questions. So don't hesitate if you have any more. Fire them away. We're here. And apparently everyone from New Hampshire is on the stream. You still looking crappy on Facebook?
It drops a lot. It pauses a lot.
Yeah.
It didn't happen the other night, so maybe it's just
Busy stream night. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, I apologize. We're a little choppy there. Apparently Friday night is just the stream night, so if you don't want to deal with that, you can hop over to YouTube where it's running clean.
Ben says we finally got our little pop-ups working.
Yes, pop-ups are working. Dog cam's working. The dog cam was quite a adventure too, to run our 4-cam system.
Yeah, Bjork says 1 year later, there's going to be 15 cams and a drone flying.
Seriously, Bjork, that is the goal, man. I won't even be here either. I'll just be directing somebody else to paint for me. You missed a spot. Go back. Yeah, drone cams, live dance breaks.
We need to mic up the dogs, 2 different angles.
Yes. Like a red carpet to even get into the stream. I'm sorry, you're not on the list for the stream.
Claudia says, I used to be in a group studio and I really miss it. But this way it makes me feel like a little bit of a studio mates.
For sure, Claudia. I totally relate, and I love that experience of being in a studio environment with other artists. I think it just helps, bridge those gaps of creativity, because you can just sit back and watch other people do something. You can kind of mosey around and see what they're doing, working on. I totally agree, and that's exactly why I love to watch it too, because it kind of helps. I want to watch creativity flow in somebody else. It just makes mine flow. And this is a tough period to not have that. So yeah, I'm thrilled that you're finding that with the stream, because this is what it's doing for me. Just be able to share it. It's the same kind of way. I've been painting in front of people my entire career, so to not be painting in front of people anymore, it's all different. I like those. I like the volume at the bottom. But man, it's like 1,000 little flowers.
Could you push it up a little bit?
Yep.
Or down? Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
Ooh, Gary, reach it. There's the Frenchie on dime. Clean my paint, a little chunky. carving in some of my lines here to keep, so I keep things organized correctly. I want this one to be behind. Lay down some deeper colors, pull some of that over here. You guys are lucky this isn't in smell-o-vision, because we also have something outside that has apparently decided to leave this earth. It's shifted right across my desk right now from outside in the woods. Just adding to the nature of it all.
It's very naturey.
Yeah, it's very naturey. Strong naturey. I like that a lot. That dark air really gives some volume to the. Sets this piece, these flowers backwards. Just kind of helps define. It feels fuzzy. It feels pushed back a little bit. Pushing that line a bit. A lot of times when have one single color, there's no shades. Line weights is really how I can get deeper volumes and shadows and stronger, heavier areas, and so it's kind of, I'll go back a lot and kind of retouch and re-add more in and push things back. You saw that a lot with the skeletons last night, like with the eyes. If you go back to that stream, when I painted the eyes, it's kind of a grid, and I just start filling in and filling in and filling in, and just kind of pushing back and pushing back to see what little lines I want, detail lines I want to leave in there. And it's just a process here, and this is exactly the thing I'm doing now with these little flowers. I'm just kind of adding them in, and then okay, and then pushing them back, I'm trying to figure out which ones I want to keep. This right here, I'm pulling this dark line across. This is a little too sharp, dark line, so we gotta soften that up a little bit so it flows. You guys can hear the tiny mini lawnmower that's now started up in the studio. Frenchie is full Snoresville.
Basically just started a new stream.
That's fine. Let me know when we're live.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you're watching us on Facebook, apologize for the stream drop. That's all Facebook's doing over there. Apparently everyone is streaming. What's going on? ETS is doing something or whatnot, but all of a sudden the internet's not fun. So, welcome back, and back again, and back again.
Wilf says, hey, what's up?
Will?
Wilf.
Wilf. Hey, Wilf. Thanks for checking out the stream, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. Apologize if you guys are all getting knocked around on it. Best laid plans. All the streaming software, all the prep we can do, and then Facebook does what it does. Thank you guys again for hanging out. Appreciate it. Hope you're making something creative or doing something or hanging out, whatever you're doing. Either way, thank you. I'm just painting tiny, tiny flowers. Many, many of them flowers. What's our time at right now?
It died.
No, can't even tell.
It's almost an hour.
Alright. So I'll just keep doing more flowers, and then I'll do the details on the monarchs. I want to do their little the white dots and highlight all those in before I leave. So, did you guys see that? Let's see, Facebook is battling us all.
Bridget says, I just dyed my hair purple, and I'm putting on my own personal purple acrylic nails, so that's my creative activity right now.
Excellent. Bragging about, oh, I changed my hair. Look at my hair color. Yeah, that's fun for you guys. It's fun. Tell me hair stories. No, that's cool. All in the creative field. Make stuff. Make mistakes. Bragging about their hair. Alright, let's do some more flowers. Can you guys hear the snoring on the stream?
He's really snoring.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. Imagine that next to your face in the middle of the night.
Oh, more hair talk. Bridget said her mom, Becky, has real hair now. It's teal.
Has real hair now.
Oh, teal hair.
Oh, teal hair. I thought you were outing her for wigging. Everyone's just changing colors and having hair fun. It's great for you guys. You just change the color of our hair. Look at that. Make a mistake, cut it off, it'll grow back.
You know, since the Facebook feed picked back up, the lag isn't as bad.
Okay.
It was maybe 20 seconds before,
All right.
and now it's maybe more like...
All right. Excellent, guys. Well, hopefully we knocked a bunch of people offline. Facebook stream joust. I don't know, but stream seems to be a little faster, so we'll take it. Need to mix some more paint. My paint's getting a little chunky.
That means we go to the dog cam,
Go to dog cam.
where they are doing nothing.
They're the worst. They're so
No, this is good, actually. Right.
uninspired. Where's he?
He's up on the desk,
Oh.
snoring.
Up on the desk. He's not even in the dog cam range.
Mm-mm.
Let's add a dog cam. It'd be great. Such an engagement tool. People will think it's cool. No. No to all those things. This is like the third stream in a row where they just do nothing. Except when it's time to end. They end every stream.
But if they were barking...
Yes.
If they're coyotes...
Yes, which any second coyotes could bark on the back hillside, and that just makes everybody go bananas. And raccoons, because they smell them, and they'll jump in the window and start barking at nothing. Or an owl, or a toad. We should be thankful, in all honesty, because all those things happen on a daily basis. Sometimes when you do pieces, you don't realize how tedious some parts might be. Like, I didn't even think about these little flowers. It would be a challenge, but I didn't think about, hey, who's going to want to watch that for an hour?
I get to watch it twice.
Yes.
How do you not have a drink sponsor yet?
Seriously. This feed's going to take off so much. I'm going to get a drink sponsor. I'm going to get a dog snoring sponsor. Oh, let's get a dog food sponsor.
Oh.
Please.
Dan Martin's in the house.
Dan Martin hanging out.
He says, what's the longest it's ever taken for you to complete a piece?
The longest it's ever taken for me to complete a piece. Great question. So I would say it's, for the longest time, it was the Disney Jungle Cruise piece.
Yeah.
Because that took a very long time. It was full enamel coverage, and it was rather large. I want to say it was 2436, and that was well over 100 hours. Because again, full coverage. Imagine this kind of grass and flower detail across the entire piece. So that one took a long time. That was dethroned by the Last Call piece, the dive bar scene that I did. That piece contains 13 different references to other paintings I've done in the past. And it's full enamel coverage, and it was 5 feet long by almost 4 feet tall. So a huge piece, and that's the longest one to date, and that was, I want to say, in the 150-hour mark. It spanned 2 complete 3-day festivals of painting, and then still had time painted in the studio when I got back. So that was definitely the longest one to date. The most recent piece I did, the Rum Runners Resort, if you saw my social media feed from the last almost a month ago now, that was also very long because it was a very large piece. But again, not having full coverage because it was a treehouse on an island in the middle of the ocean. There were some spots I didn't have to paint, so probably under 100. More probably in the 60, 70 hour mark, which is still a long paint. But pieces like this, just to give you a comparison, will probably, let's see, 2 string. When it's all said and done, counting the sketch, probably in about 20 hours. Counting the sketch, counting the background, counting all the details. I'm a very fast painter. I don't mess around. There's not, Let's do more flowers.
Do you want to just move on to highlights?
The highlights? Yeah, let's pop over to highlights. Now I got can't just leave a part flower done.
No.
Yeah, we'll flower these 2 right here, and then I'll pop over to highlights. First, this grass piece over here. I don't know if I'm off cam here.
The little snoring monster just woke up.
Oh, so the countdown starts now. Because the Frenchie just gave signs of life. Which means y'all live stream is now in jeopardy. You thought Facebook was screwing with the stream. Alright, we will stop here on this part. Again, if you want to see how I got to this point, I posted, in my social media feeds, you can see the most recent time lapses. And I'll do a quick cut edit when I'm all done, so you can kind of see it in a fast version of all this stuff and see how I'm doing. But again, I'll be doing live streams now every week, new pieces, different varieties. Some in watercolor I'll do some sketching, do some inking, you know, just to kind of show all the different mediums that I work with. So we'll be sharing all that kind of stuff, and you can kind of see the work come into shape and see all the little bits of creativity and how it all comes together. All right, let's stop messing with stuff. Let's move over to let's hammer on the monarchs. So I'm going to pull you over there so you can see that better. So by all means, get your questions in. There's probably about 10 minutes left. Any questions you have, and if you see any later on, feel free to add them to the comments. Again, we're doing this on Facebook and on YouTube. So you'll be able to find us. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix some, not mix, I'm going to get some white enamel. And I'm going to add some reducer, which makes it flow a little easier. Imagine it comes out like maple syrup, and I want it to be more like a 1% milk, you know, a step above water is kind of where I want it to be. And that's 1% almond milk, just so we're aware of that. I'm going to pull this down so I can reach up there. This process just pulls them out to life. It's very easy. I mean, it's not complicated. I'm just adding in the detailed camouflage pattern, but it really just makes them come to life.
Dan asks, how do you decide what's going to be a sketch, a watercolor, a full piece?
Great question. How do I decide what's going to be a sketch or a watercolor or a full piece or a serious version or more of the anatomical, you know, comedic version? Great question. And the way that kind of works for me is the idea. It first starts with the idea and what is it served by? Is it better being big? Is it better being small? You know, what do I want to see it as? And it's kind of like, let it tell me what, I keep saying that now in the artsy fartsy way, let it tell me what it needs to be. For me, a serious idea needs serious skeletons. You know, if it's a serious, like a gunslinger piece or something like that, we talk about Western, if you're going to be that way, it has to be serious, so it'd be more of the anatomical stuff. The bigger the idea, the more, involved the concept is, the more likely it's a painting, and the more likely it's a serious painting. The difference between watercolor is a preliminary step to what's going to be a small painting. So I'll do a fun, cute thing as a test before I do a painting of it, usually a small painting. So it's kind of like you do one first to see where I'm going to place it, how it fits, and kind of go from there. But the big serious ideas are always going to be the serious-looking skeletons. And when I say anatomical, I mean like this with the full teeth, traditional anatomical skeleton, versus the cute stuff. I don't know if I can reach right now, but no teeth. If you go to my stream, the most recent Halloween stuff, that was all anatomical, non-anatomical. That's all the cute stuff. So that's kind of what it is, and I kind of let what it should tell me. If it's a cute love piece, those are always kind of I like the innocence of the cute skeletons, and I think it just kind of helps them. It just makes it more pure, innocent feeling to the piece. So I like to use the small skeletons for that. They have no jaws, no teeth, and again, more of the romance, the emotion, the fierier pieces. It's gonna be larger. Those tend to be more in the anatomical range.
Claudia asks, what brush are you using? Seems just like what I need. What size or brand?
So this brush is a 05. Now, just so you know, the reason it looks like what it does, and I always try and explain, it looks like it's a great liner, and it's the enamel though too. That's what makes me able to drop dots and drop lines and move these things around so easily. It's because the enamel is completely opaque. I can pop it where I want to pop it. It gives a false reading. But I use a 05 script liner. This is a pinstriping company brush, but I use Lowell Cornell is a brush I use. I use Robert Simmons. Also, any of those script liners is the word you're looking for. You can usually find those at any hobby store. Synthetic, not. I don't personally like to use animal fibers. I don't like the feel of the brush. I don't like to use animal fibers anyways. But I definitely use the synthetic pop and the snap. I enjoy that comes from synthetic brushes. So again, I just like how that just brings him to life. You know, just lets you really see all the bits and pieces. It kind of all comes in. You're like, okay, now I can see more what's going on here. I want a few more. You can get away with one more right there. I want that side to have a couple more too. Yeah, the dogs are definitely... yeah, it just really brings that to life. And let's add a few more. A few lines and detail to that guy too. All right, now we're gonna pop over to. I'm gonna move you over to the other butterfly, and we're gonna detail that guy too. And I want to put my. There you go. I want to stick you in the paint here. Sorry, nauseousness. How's that? Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Try not to. Just gonna mix up. Get my white all flowing well, and then we're gonna.
What are those sound effects? Butterfly?
Butterfly sound effects, man.
Cool.
How dare you call me out on those? Who does that?
You have a good mic?
It is a good mic too, man. Need to know that stuff. Sometimes I hold my breath on the little fine detail parts, so I get really quiet, just so you're aware that I'm still here.
So are you using butterfly reference right now?
I'm using butterfly reference right now, yes. I have a little picture over here just to get my dots appropriate, because you can go super dotty.
I did not know their bodies were speckled.
I did not know their bodies were speckled either. That was totally something new that I learned during this reference period, is that their bodies are speckled too.
The funny thing about art is, in researching it, you're actually learning a lot of.
Yes, and that's a great point too. I love the research part of paintings, whether it be a military piece or a nature piece. You know, this for me, the discovery of some of these stories and these animals and the subtle intricacies that they have. You know, whether they do this or that, or they might eat this or feel that way, or weird traits they have. I love finding those, because I wouldn't have discovered them any other way except for the art. So that is a fun way to kind of learn this stuff and find these little pieces. And And for me, it really helps tell the story. The more I know, and I love talking about it and showing it. And I'll tell you right now, you need to educate yourself as an artist, because the person who raises butterflies, or the person who has the gun shown in your Western piece, they're going to see the piece, and you want them to love it and to not look at it and go, oh, they got that wrong. It's your responsibility as an artist to research, to take the steps to make sure that your piece is as flawless as you can make it, that you've done the right research, done the right things, that it is the right way. And I'll tell you right now, it does happen. I've had so many times. One of my most proud moments of it happening and me being on the right side, I was painting a B-17 piece, an interior of a B-17. I not only did research photos and went and saw a couple B-17s, I spent time interviewing a B-17 pilot from World War II. I did my homework. And sure enough, I was painting at a live event in Arizona, and these guys came behind me, and their arms crossed, and they're asking about the piece and what version of B-17 this is, and I was explaining them the A and the variants and that kind of thing, and they just kind of smiled at each other. I didn't know what was going on, and they pulled their jackets open, and they're part of the flight crew of the B-17 that's stationed in Arizona. And they were just thanked me for taking the time and effort, and that had everything right. I mean, that means a lot to me as an artist, to have it the right way, that someone who is intricately involved in that device or that animal or that whatever that thing is, that you did it right. You spent the time. That's something I think is important, to spend the time. I mean, there's artistic license, but there's also taking the effort and being lazy. You got to make sure that you take time to do things correctly, and it is, it is what it is. It's your responsibility. Lecture over. Listen up, man. One of those things, I think it's the least you can do. And you want to do that. You want to learn about these things. That's one of the best part about being an artist. You get to figure, find this little stuff out, and it adds to, the happiness of your life. The enrichment. So I'm going to poke around a little bit here, but get your last couple questions in here, and we're going to wrap things up for tonight. I'm going to switch down to here and mess up all the cams. And we're just going to noodle on the little bottom here. Get a little flare out there. Let me just cap him a little bit. There you go. Nope, that didn't do that. No. I don't know what's happening over here. So we're going to noodle on the bottom of these skulls a little bit.
Oh boy. Butt cam.
Butt cam?
Yep.
Oh boy. It's happening, people. This is how streams end for us.
He's so excited right now.
Pussy. Puskin. Oh, and again, I always forget the dog. Not only is one of my dogs named McCready, the other dog is named Pliskin. Pliskin, come here. Come here. Be famous. To go back to the movies that play in this studio. Hi, come here, Pliskin. Pliskin, come here. Come here. What's this? What's this? What's this? He doesn't trust him one bit. You're wise, my friend. I wouldn't trust me either. All right. They want their dinner, so we'll wrap this up now. Again, thanks everyone for joining us. Really appreciate it. Had a great time tonight hanging out. Great questions. Everybody who came by. I don't know how long you were here. You add so much to the stream. It makes it really fun. Again, and hopefully one day we'll get to see people again. But it's great to have you guys join me and hang out here. And we'll be doing these a lot. This is kind of what it's going to look like for us. I'm painting anyways. I want to share that, and this is how we're going to do it. So thank you guys again, and have a great night.